Hey, it's Pastor Dan from Dexter Gospel Church with another Proverbs Practical. I appreciate you watching. Our last video reminded us that God is the only one who really knows our ways. This next verse warns us about making commitments and not keeping them. We're in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 25. Proverbs 20, verse 25 says, "It is a snare to the man who devours that which is holy, and after vows to make inquiry." So both the first and second parts or phrases of the verse have to do with making promises that aren't kept. The first phrase, some commentators even say that it could be translated, "It's a snare to the man who rashly speaks promises." Even as it's written, devouring what is holy. The idea seems to be that of someone who has consecrated something to the Lord or committed something to God. They go to the temple or to the tabernacle and they say, "God, I promise that I'm going to offer this ox to you, or I'm going to offer this sheep to you," or whatever. But then when the time comes to fulfill that commitment, they go back on it. They eat something that wasn't meant for them to eat anymore because it was supposed to be sacrificed to God. They devour what was holy or set apart to God. They use as normal something which should have been holy. Now, they may have justifications for that. They might have thought that they could do without it when they made the promise, but the circumstances changed or things like that. But to treat as common what is holy, or to use for oneself what was promised to God, to treat a sacred promise as being of no effect or of less importance than situations and circumstances, it's a snare. It's a trap. It's pretty easy to justify to ourselves making a commitment and then backing out of it because things have changed. I think the divorce rate that we see today shows that pretty clearly. But a snare that he speaks of here was a deadly trap. It was what you used to catch an animal as prey and kill it. God takes faithfulness very seriously, and all the more so when it involves things that are holy and commitments made to Him. Now, the second phrase shows one of the ways that this can happen. It says that it's a snare to make a vow first and then ask questions after, to leap before you look, to speak before you think or ask questions. To speak impulsively, to pledge to do something, to make a vow before you know whether you can do it or not, is a deadly trap. Jesus speaks of this when he speaks of discipleship and following Him. The man who is faced with a large army determines whether he thinks he can beat it with the troops he's got before he decides to fight or sends ambassadors to seek peace. The man who wants to build calculates whether he has the material and the money to finish before he begins the building project. It's the mark of a fool, someone caught in a snare of their own making, to promise to do something before checking into whether they can actually do it or not. Or in the case of things which are holy, whether it's even the right thing to do or not. I'm reminded of Jephthah and his vow, promised the Lord that if God would give him victory in this battle, which God had already determined that they were going to win, he promised to sacrifice to the Lord the first thing that came out of his house to meet him. And likely he thought that that would be some of his livestock, but it was his daughter. He made a vow, apparently without considering what might naturally happen with that thing, whether it would involve doing something that was wrong, slaying an innocent human being, or whether it might be something that he would regret having to do. He waited until after the vow was made to inquire what it would actually cost, and it cost him terribly. It snared him. The Scriptures are strong throughout on keeping our word, especially when we pledge or vow something, especially when that involves the Lord. We should be committed to our promises, but that means we need to be careful in our promises so we don't end up pledging to do something we can't do or shouldn't do. I hope this video is a help to you. If it is, give it a like, subscribe to our channel for more content that's similar. We'd love to hear from you in the comments, and we'd love to see you in person here at our church. Until next time, I hope you stay well and commit carefully.